Map with myself, Chris Cusimano, and who else?
Jen Konikoff.
Alex Mendel.
Yeah, so the whole point of this podcast was for agents who did real estate in a more fun, untraditional way and did really well with it, to share our tips and secrets. That way you can take what we have learned and apply it to your businesses and do well too. But up until this point, we spent most of our time talking about vacations and whales anatomy and other things. So today I think we should just, so we don't get distracted, Alex and Jen, we should just dive into what we did yesterday, our meeting that Alex was not a part of. What do you think?
You
Sounds good.
Yes.
I can't wait. You know what? I can't wait to learn from you guys.
Okay. Well, good. Because we can go for a while on this. All right. So let's start with that, and I'm sure we'll get bored of it and pivot somewhere else. That's just how it works. So, so basically, we are at the day 5 of our meetings, where if you are a member of the Coaching by Kuzi program, we sit down and on Tuesdays, virtually sit down, and we go over how to build a business step by step in a very organized community type of way. And it's pretty cool. It's anywhere from like 20 to 30 agents show up every week to do it. Alex was not there this week, so he wouldn't know. But so we're gonna recap with Alex about what we covered, because this is important. It was a super important one. It was how to. So okay, let's just bring it all home. So we know when you're in a space of a small business owner, a lot of small business owners just enter their industries and they don't even know what they're selling. They don't know what their benefit is. I'll give a prime example of it. I had a guy call me today. He was an old client of mine, well, current client, I guess, and he got into life insurance. And he was like, "Hey, I want to team up with you." And I'm like, "And do what?" And it was like, "You know, because like you're out there and everything." I'm like, "Okay, so what do you want to do?" And he's like, "I just want to team up." I'm like, "Okay, how?" You know, what were you called me? What were you thinking?
Give me the
I don't know,
man. The who, the what, the where, the why.
So anyways, I started picking his brain and I'm like, okay, what exactly can you offer where someone would benefit using you over anyone else? He goes, well, the prices are the same no matter where you go. The products are the same and you can't touch that. I'm like, okay, so your product you can't touch and you can't promote differently and you can't touch the prices. So why would anyone hire you over anyone else? And he said service. And I was like, oh. But my point of all that was that most people just enter industries not knowing exactly what and how they're going to create an offer or a product for people to choose them over everyone else, because they are better than everyone else. They just go get their real estate license and like, now what? And then they're told to cold call, and then they cold call and they hate their lives and then they quit. Right. So we try to focus on other ways of doing it, which we all do. Alex, you bored yet?
No, I'm interested because my question is, how does he define service?
Well, that was a whole other combo, but we did dive into that. You know what? We can pivot there for a second, because it ended up being a coaching session more than what he called for.
Did he define what made him different in this said service?
Well, he didn't even think that far into it. In his impression, he goes, well, honestly, I'm just calling other people who do pretty decent in business and I want to collaborate with their networks. I'm like, okay, how are you going to, what are you going to do? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, well, listen, I get calls like this all the time. And when someone calls me and they want to do something, but they don't have a plan, in my mind, I'm thinking about all the extra work and thinking I have to do. So what I'm going to recommend for you is, if you want to do that, I would love to do that, but I don't want to work. I want you to make it easy. And then I pivoted and said, and that is kind of like the analogy towards your business directly. So you're coming at me as an indirect consumer with something that you want, but you haven't told me the benefit or made it easy for me to consume that thing. So you have to imagine, if you're going to your clients with that, I'm not saying it is, but you have to go with the mindset of, why should they listen to me? Why should they buy from me? And how can I be better? And how can I serve them? And then we went to that conversation that we just had about, he can't touch prices and products, but he can touch how well he gives service to them. I said, okay, great. Give me some examples of what your colleagues do that you think is not savory, that pisses off other clients. and he gave me a bunch. Like once they get the sale, they ignore them. Or if anyone has questions, they just text them back the customer service number. And I'm like, oh, so they're just salespeople. They sell them and then move on. He's like, yeah, basically. So I'm like, well, you should make a product out of your service, right? With those things, meaning give a 10-hour guarantee. If even I recommend 3, but give a 10-hour guarantee. And if anyone calls, texts, or emails you, you will reply with a answer from you within 10 hours guaranteed, or you will transfer their account to someone who can handle their clients' needs better than you can. It's like, oh, I like that. Right. So I'm like, I know, stick around. And then so he had a bunch of others, right? Anyways, and what we covered yesterday and the day before was doing the same thing for real estate agents for our clients, because most real estate agents just go to that house with a couple of pieces of paper and say, I'm the best, sign with me. Oh, and then they go, what's your commission? And then they reduce because they have nothing else to offer. What we have been doing is creating very unique products, very similar products and services, very similar to what we just spoke about with my buddy that's just there for real estate. And then last meeting, which was yesterday, we then took it to another level. So we made our core offer, which is a core offer of services that are super unique. And then out of our core offer, we took some of the pieces out of that and created bonuses and guarantees for our clients to either reward them for making quick decisions or positive decisions to reward that behavior, or to push them over the over the edge of, that sounds really bad, but push them over to the side of actually sealing the deal and solving some problems that they may have had with with some sort of bonus. And then we guaranteed our work. So that's basically what we worked on yesterday. So
it sounds like he should have walked away with a solid path or starting point towards his path so that he can come back to you with some real actionable points so that you can actually create this said relationship or partnership.
Alex, you want to say? I wait for Alex to chime in, but he's just staring at the camera.
No, yeah, I agree. Sorry, it's one of those days. No, yeah, it seems every successful business needs to, I feel like, guarantee their work. If they say, "Oh, just trust me, I can do this, I'll do this," it's always just, "Oh, just trust me." But who are you? Who are you to be trusted? If you can make those guarantees and make them who the business that you stand on, then you're more than likely going to get that sale or that appointment or that relationship. Even with
the relationship. That's what we really want. That's what we want. We don't want the wham bam done next. I mean, we want that long lasting relationship so they can keep coming back. Those guarantees is what continues to bring the client back, and then those referrals.
Right. I used to be very transactional. I was just like, all right, sales, let's just find the next one. It's when I dialed it back and started really focusing on the relationship and seeing that they're not just a number. I just don't see them as a commission check. I value their trust in me and to, work with me and refer friends and family.
Alex, that's actually a very good point that you brought up that I brought up to him, because when I was talking to him and coaching him through this, I was saying, well, how do your clients treat how do your colleagues treat clients? And he says, for the most part, they just sign them on to some kind of plan and then they disappear. I mean, we just kind of alluded to that. And I was telling him, and what I'm going to tell you now is like, that is the dumbest thing ever when it comes to business. Right. It's because you work so hard and spend so much time and so much money securing that client. Mm-hmm. And now we have to go do it again. Well, wouldn't it be smarter that the client that you already spent all those resources on securing, if you turn them into mouthpieces for you or raving fans to make your job easier? And the question is, and he's like, yeah, of course it was. I'm like, okay, duh. Yeah, we know that. And I was like, how do you do that? And he goes, I don't know. And then that's pretty much how the conversation, I'm like, let's talk about it. And you do that by solving their problems that benefits them. Mm-hmm. Like, in not looking at it as a transaction, you're looking at it as a compounding relationship that will naturally bring in transactions because you are the competition of none that they can't get anywhere else, that truly puts their clients' needs first. We have an agent on my team who took a rental recently, and she was asking me for advice. She goes, "Oh, there's not a lot of money in it." We were talking about rentals last week, and I said, "Listen," I said to her, like, "Listen, you cannot look at it as a commission for that deal. You have to look at it as serving that particular person in a way that you turn that person into a fan." My dog just knocked over a bike. To turn that person into a fan for life, right? That's how you have to look at it. And you can see the light bulb.
Like investing in advertising. You know, you're investing your time.
Oh.
That's exactly what it is. You're investing your time. Now you have a new word of mouth. You have a new testimonial. Mm-hmm. Testimonials are great marketing pieces.
They're evergreen.
This person was able to help me when no other real estate agent was willing to help me to find a rental. That's brand new advertising source.
That's going to make me pivot to. Oh, sorry, Jen. Go ahead.
I would say you might as well just have them as like having a Alex Mandel t-shirt rocks. Boom.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're turning people into raving fans. So that call that we were just talking about with my buddy was initiated by actually a call that I had with a couple people on the Homes by Kuzy team, Jen included, yesterday, and the day before yesterday, actually. And it was out of the blue. It was a thought I was having in my head. So Alex works out with no music like a weirdo, but I drive without music because that's when I do my thinking, right? We're just different, I guess. And I thought of an idea about a bunch of weirdos. Jen always has music on, even when she's trying to think.
I have music on right now as background noise for you guys.
So I am. Anyways, I'm thinking about, because I'm preparing for the Tuesday meetup, and the Tuesday meetup, which was yesterday, was all about offering bonuses for your bonuses and guarantees. And I was like, I was thinking, like, how do we add an additional bonus for our clients that they can only get with us and doesn't cost us more money, and at the same time can help other possible people? And all these ideas come in my head, and one idea came up with, which I don't know if it's going to have legs or not, but we're going to try it, is that we're going to attempt to try to secure business relationships with as many third-party businesses as possible to offer Homes by Kuzy exclusive discounts only for our clients. So, for example, if it's like a company that is a dog walking company, maybe they'll give a $100 dog walking credit exclusive to Homes by Kuzy members, right? If it's a restaurant, maybe they'll do a date night with 2 drinks, an appetizer, and an entree, right? Just for Homes by Kuzy, whatever. So the people can only get those exclusive perks and bonuses working with us. And I'm like, that is freaking brilliant. And the reason why and of course, because I thought it was brilliant. But the reason why I think it's brilliant is that, what we're trying to do is, and if we're lucky, this could be a lead. I hate when this happens. I'm like, no, it could be a lead. I'm going to text. Okay, send it to voicemail. Realtors, we're always working, even in the middle of podcast. So I was like, think about it, how it always been. Think about it. If you can secure enough third-party third-party vendors or business partners to provide something of value that equals the amount that you are charging on for your commission or your compensation, then it's essentially and you can only get it through us, right? Then essentially just washes that all out. It's an additional perk that washes it all out. And I'm not talking about like stupid thing, like something irrelevant, like a free paintbrush or something. I was talking about if you can get enough
a massage through this very stressful process. I think having
acupuncture, massage, all that stuff.
I love that.
See?
Yes. But even having like a large list, and it could be such a random list, but at the end of the day, it's, and you said on the call, providing a win for the sellers, creating a scenario where you're reducing stress, whatever that stress may look like for a person, stress about being able to take the dog out during showings, or, during our open house, we can take care of that with pet care over at the pet lodging place. I don't know. I don't lodge my dog, but in places like that.
Well, yeah, it's a win-win-win for that. Yes. So it's a win-win-win for all of us. So for the seller, it's a win because they're getting all these exclusive benefits they can't get anywhere else. Right. For us, it's a win because we're adding another value piece that just solidifies our brand and turns more people into raving fans, because we're the only people who do this. And then the business partners win because now they're getting free business.
Right.
And I'm tying this back to what you brought up, Alex, about the cost of advertising. So what I did was, when I was talking to it was Jen Marissa and a couple other people on the team, I said, just post on Facebook that you're looking to help small business owners. And they're like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, all right, I'll just do it. And I did it.
That was me. I said, I was like, I'm in the middle of a listing presentation. Write it up, and then I will forward it to.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just do it.
I'm like, I will happily copy and paste.
It's a great tool to ask your Facebook for anything. Mm-hmm. Anytime I need something, I always say, here's what's going on. Who do you guys know? And if you ask it that way, if you ask it, who do you know? People will think, who do I know? You know?
I had a very interesting conversation yesterday about that. We'll get to it. I do want to talk about some of the responses I got from that post. As they were small business owners, but they really, and I hate to say this, if someone is going to do well in business or not, based on how big or small they think, right? Mm-hmm. So I asked the question, and I said, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm like, oh, what about a buy one get one free whatever? It was like something tiny. And I'm like, no, it really should be something big and free, something to wow them. Mm-hmm. And this one person goes, well, what do I get out of it?
You wow them with your service, and you'll have a repeating customer for life. Hello.
Well, Jen, yes, but you know that because you're a smart business owner. But I almost replied, and I just didn't, because I looked at it like this: if I have to answer that, and I don't want to sound like an ass, but
no,
yeah,
you don't want to partner up with that person because you're trying to give a value to additional value to our clients, and if that person on the other end is not going to add to it, it's almost going to take away from what we're trying to do, then that's not someone we want to partner up with.
Smart business owners don't think what's in it for me. It's how can I help other people. Mm-hmm. It's how can I be a service to somebody else. It's like the book The Go-Giver. I don't know if you guys ever read it.
The one that you didn't read, right?
I have 2 copies that I didn't read, correct, but I get the idea.
Well, that's the one that you like. So, yeah, I was gonna say, like, did you read the SparkNotes version on that?
I didn't read. I just read the back of the book, and I read the gist on Amazon. But I get the point. It's you give and you'll receive. It's as simple as that. And
no one wants to give to someone who's a mooch,
right? But you also can go into it thinking, I'm going to do this. I can't wait for them to pay me back. Just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can go with that mindset. You have to give with a good. Oh, sorry, Alex. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a few years ago, I had good friends that I was working with, and I was showing them properties, and then they said, hey, just letting you know, we went directly to the homeowner. We made an offer. They aren't working with a real estate agent. This was before, this whole settlement and blah, blah, blah. And I said, no problem. Here, I filled out a purchase contract for you guys. Just fill it out with what you need. I said, wow, that's really great. Like, no problem. Ends up, it fell apart, didn't work out. They ended up buying, over the years, maybe $10 million worth of real estate.
Yep, there it is. Because you didn't think about yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Right? Most agents wouldn't do that. They're like, oh, it's 1% for me to fill it out.
Yes. Well, that's the thing with most small business owners and most real estate agents. It's very this for that or tit for tat, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to get out of this thing now? So that also goes to how agents promote their rental listings or easy listings. They don't put in the same effort. When you see that, like, they'll just do really crappy 1 or 2 photos with their phone, or just they don't do the extra stuff. I actually had a talk like this with an agent that I know well, because it's one of our agents, and so you're like, no, you have to understand that even though this is not one of those things where you have to do all of those things, it hurts you by not doing all of those things. One, your consumer sees it and they feel like you care about other people more than them, right? Because they were easy, right? So you're not rewarding the good behavior of someone being a pleasure to work with. You're pretty much saying, hey, you're awesome, screw you, right? And on the other flip side of that is when you list I was trying to think of the right way to say it. I'll just say it. But if you list a property online and it doesn't look good, people go online to shop their real estate agents.
Mhm.
And if they see that there's listings that look crappy, they're going to assume that's how their listing is going to look when they're with you too.
Yeah.
So that's why my point is, like, when you're just saying, Alex and Jen, actually, about people just think, how am I going to benefit the most from this particular situation now? And it's such a small-minded, simple-minded thing that you can almost instantly know someone's going to do well with business or not if they have that very tit-for-tat mindset.
It's the same thing with any business. It could be a restaurant. You know, if somebody had a horrible experience and the manager says, well, that sucks for you, they just lost word of mouth. They lost another word of mouth client.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And well, now you have the internet. That word of mouth, it goes to
Now there's Yelp.
Yelp, Google,
Yeah.
Facebook.
Well, running a business is about being a great problem solver.
Mhm.
You know, when your clients have a problem, you shouldn't be excited they have a problem, but you should welcome that as an opportunity to fortify what's really the relationship you have with them by presenting what possibly is really happening or how you can get better. Because if there's a problem that a consumer has, chances are there's a problem within your system, whether it's a product side or a communication side. The product side of your business might be fine, but if someone still has a problem, and let's say they're not crazy and they're a legitimate gripe, then it might be a communication problem of how those benefits are being communicated with them. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if you aren't able to adapt to any situation, and, you know, even if your product and your service is, you know, 10 out of 10, there's always going to be that one thing that something happens. Something always happens. Doesn't matter the business. And if you aren't able to adapt to that and find a way to make everybody happy, that's not yourself, then you're not going to do well in this business, and word of mouth isn't going to be that strong for you.
Preach.
Mm-hmm.
Preach. So
even at the end, I mean, you could have had the most amazing transaction all the way through, and there's a big hiccup right at closing. You better be able to pivot quickly and solve that problem, because no matter how amazing you freaking were the entire 30, 40 days, they will remember that last day. So
oh God, yeah.
Pivot,
Oh, yeah.
fix it, and do it willingly with a smile on your face, because that is that long-lasting impression.
I made that mistake just once in my career, and I learned from it. I had this lady call me, and she was a challenging client, but we did well throughout the whole process. It was fine, you know. Anyway, so I managed her, honestly, BS pretty well. And then it got to the day of closing, and she was just, the stress got to her, and she just went off on me. And she went off on me before, and it wasn't anything valid. She would always apologize, like, listen, sometimes I just snap. I'm sorry, blah, blah. I know exactly where the house is too. I'm like traumatized every time I drive by it on 18th Street. Because you have those, right? And then I just had enough at that point. At that point, I was like, I don't know how to please this woman. She's getting everything and then some. I've taken more punches than I've taken, you know, growing up with my buddies in the neighborhood, right? Like, you know, like, what else can I possibly do to please her? And I ended up snapping back, and she wasn't the type of person who can just let things de-escalate, and she escalated and got all crazy, and I lost a future client. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but it was a thing where they don't remember what Jen was saying until the very. Did you remember one last thing? And if the last thing is at the very end, that's what they can remember.
It's true. I always get self-conscious when there's like a little bit of a hiccup, and even though I solve it at the end, I feel like that my clients attach to that one negative thing, even though they probably forgot about it. But in my mind,
I do that too, bro.
I mean, some do.
And I'm like, I'm not even going to send them the referral link or the review link. I'm not going to send the review link. That's all they're going to write about. I'm going to get a 1 star just because that one thing that I solved it.
Dude,
nothing about nothing.
Listen, I bet you two do the same thing that I'm about to say that goes far beyond real estate. And let's get a little vulnerable here.
Oh.
I do. Do you ever look back in moments of time at things that you said or done?
Constantly.
And you're like, I'm such a freaking douche. But then you realize, like, you get re-embarrassed.
I wouldn't go with douche. I would go with, I'm such an idiot, and then I would get re-embarrassed. Like, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're allowed to curse here. There's a big E on the thing.
Okay.
So yeah, but I do that all the time, and then I'm just like, God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? And I realized that isn't that like such an insecure, selfish, like vain thing? Because no one else remembers those moments except us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just I think that's just human nature. But Alex applies it to his business. Apparently, we all do actually. So,
well, I have a lot of self-esteem issues sometimes, and it's like, you know.
Well, we get knocked around all the time, right?
Yeah,
we get knocked around all the time. So sometimes I mean, I have to constantly tell myself, all right, Jen, put on your big girl panties and let's do this. Like, because sometimes things get a little tough, and you got to have these conversations with ourselves.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
part of being human.
Let's get real vulnerable. I'm a college dropout. I shouldn't have graduated high school, but I became successful despite that. And my issue is I hang on to that. It's like, am I supposed to be as successful as I am? Can I compare to these people, my clients in these $1 million houses? It's like, you know, so that really, I stick by that sometimes. I'm trying to fight it. It's one of those things I'm trying to fight.
I think it's human nature. You compare up and down. Like you'll compare with your clients who aren't doing nearly as well as you, and then you compare with your clients who are just far exceeding you. I think it's just being a human being, like wondering, like, oh, I don't think I could survive on that income. Oh, it could be another deal. My phone's ringing again. Oh, that hurts my heart. And then I look at my very successful clients and I'm like, man, I can't work any harder. What are they doing that I'm not doing? You know, like, and I'm not a dumb guy. Like, so I work hard. I'm not stupid. How do I get that? And then what happens? I know exactly what I do. I just have to turn off my wife's Amazon account and we can make it.
That and close all the doors to Target.
And Uber Eats and Instacart for my household.
Oh, dude, Target just got worse. I try to pull in from the gym again. You see how buff I am? Look at those. Man, I'm a man. It's not getting anywhere. So I'm coming home, and then there's a car blocking my driveway, and the trunk's open, and I see a lady reading like something and laughing and smiling. Like, what the hell just happened? Well, then I walk in the house. I walk to the front door, and there's like a mountain of Target order on my thing. I'm like, babe, Target delivers now? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh no. This is just dangerous. Because now she's gonna buy shit just for huh?
Instacart is always that's it. Game changer.
I do Walmart Plus deliveries, and I don't have to go to Walmart, number one.
I was gonna say I can't see you in a Walmart. No offense to Walmart shoppers.
Well, I like to be frugal.
I'm a 6-aimer. Yeah, I'm a 6-aimer Walmart shopper if I have to go.
Yeah, I'll go to Target for like the experience and the vibes, but Walmart I will go for the cost.
Wait, I can just see Alex vibing with his red car and his Starbucks. Just walking through the aisle.
Oh, I can see it with his schmedium shirt.
Schmedium.
I am very proud of my schmedium. I used to be a large.
Rock that schmedium, boo. Rock it.
Thanks.
I can't talk. This shirt's getting a little tight on me too. I can't talk. By the way, I am going to the gym after this. I missed it for something this morning. I guess we'll talk about it in a sec. But people listening to us, I'm assuming they're here because they want to learn some of the tactics. I want to get a little bit deeper into tactics and we can comply to Walmart if that's okay with you guys. So basically, you guys, we kind of alluded to it. In order to run any type of business, you need to find the obstacles or steps involved or the problems they could have within the process of that thing. So, for example, in real estate, there's a lot of things that need to happen or could go wrong, right? Sellers can get sued. They can be marketed poorly. They can have poor pricing strategy. Their house might need work, but they don't have the capital up front to fix it. There's all these things that can be involved. So what we have done up to this point was come up with very unique and creative solutions for our clients and made a core offer to them of what we'll provide. But the thing is, in our core offer, we couldn't put everything we're able to do in our core offer because we would go broke. And most times the sellers don't need all those things. So all those extras at this point of our training, we have all these extras like on the editing room floor, if you will. We'll take those things and now have them in our back pocket to offer them for bonuses and or guarantees. You're like, what is this guy talking about? So you can make your core offer, right? And your offer is, this is what we do. And there's going to be sometimes you're going to have people who are going to sign right away. And the people who sign right away or move quick or just for whatever the situation may be where you want to reward them quickly, you can now take one of those bonuses that based on your conversation you just had will be applicable to their situation. For example, oh, my toilet is running and there's, geez, look at this, another lead. What's Mary Kenyon? And Mary Kenyon, she's our office manager. If you want to join Keller Williams, just let me know. Anyways.
Or Jen or Alex.
Or Jen or Alex. Jen, maybe. She's in my downline. So, actually, so are you, Alex. You're under the Shepherds.
I am.
Oh,
call Alex or Jen if you want.
Call Jen, then Alex.
Yeah, go ahead. You guys were
Shameless plugs.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you want to reward that behavior. So if someone says, "Hey, my toilet's running" or something, and like, "Oh, you know what? I got you. I got a handyman who's going to come out and take care of your toilet for you." But the value is not just in the cost of getting that toilet repaired. It's the value of them not having to look for a handyman or to schedule or arrange or anything. All your client needs to do is tell you when that person can come and then you arrange all that stuff. You just immediately solidified their decision to hire you with that bonus, monetarily and time-wise as well, saving all their time and stresses. Now, the other way the bonuses work would be to seal the deal, as you mentioned earlier. I'll give you an example. Let's say, hey, the reason I'm not ready to move forward is because in your menu, you don't have anything where to help me with my toilet running. And I'm like, I'll tell you what, is that the only thing holding you back? Yeah, that's the only thing holding me back. All right, I'll get a handyman out there. I'll cover the costs, and I'll even schedule everything. The only thing you have to do is open the door. When can they come over? Right? Okay, great. So if you're ready to move forward, I'll get that going right now. So you'll use that bonus that wasn't on your menu that you're still willing to offer to them as a way to get them to move the needle, right? And so we go back to the Walmart.
Some sellers just need that win. Some sellers just need to feel like, yes, I got it. Not only did I feel like I chose the best person for this, but I got a little added win out of this.
Right.
And they
feel it justifies their decision.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to feel like they're not being taken advantage of, or they're getting a win. Like, for instance, I had a transaction that's closing on Friday, and the buyer found $5,000 worth of repairs that really weren't existent.
Shocking.
Yeah. So, so she said she'll repair all the items, and if she can't repair the washer, she'll credit $500 at closing. So she fixed all the items. She couldn't repair the washer. She said, "I'll credit the buyer." A couple nights later, at like 10:30, I get a text message from her saying, I don't know why I'm giving them $500 after all the addendums were already signed that she's gonna do that. And I could tell it's 10:30 at night, on the East Coast, which means she's thinking about it. She's stressed.
Stressing.
I look at it. I never really respond to messages after like 9:30 from clients because I need downtime. But I just respond, "Don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. Have a great night." And she said, "Wow, that was really nice of you." And now,
if she texted you at 3 p.m., would you have done that?
Of course. No, it didn't matter.
Was it because you're tired?
No, it didn't matter the time. But I knew it was something that was lingering. She felt like she was being taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. I looked at what I was making. Could I afford it to contribute a little bit? I looked at it. I said, "Yeah." So I will help out.
That's a great lesson. Oftentimes, it's not the specific thing they're upset about, and it's not the money. It's that they're feeling to being taken advantage of, and they need a win. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, so when you're negotiating, Jen and I had a deal where we were dealing with an agent who we just needed a small win for the client, just a small win. And she refused to budge on anything. I'm like, just anything. Give me anything just to get a win. We can get this over with. Anything. Mm-hmm. Give me a high five. Anything for they feel like they get a win. And it was like, nope. And sure as shit, the deal died. And sometimes you just end up working with people like that and you can't do anything about it.
That still bothers me.
I know.
Because I know. All it was giving a win to the buyer. That's it.
Yep.
It was such
and they just would not negotiate, no matter. It was just
it wasn't a dollar amount either. It was it was just the act. And
it was the act of good faith.
Mm-hmm. And the other agent was just so clouded that she couldn't see that it was not backed by anything that had to do with money. It was just the good faith of having that win, and it just fell apart.
Yeah. When you're dealing with people who work in a logical space, and nothing wrong with being illogical, but you also have to work in an emotional spot when you're dealing with an emotional transaction. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people just need to emotionally feel good about something, regardless of the logic. It's just common sense. You would think of an experienced agent, but it didn't pan out that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as, somebody saying, "Oh, let's lowball them, just see what can happen," as a buyer,
and then that's insulting.
And the seller saying, "Oh, that person go fuck themselves."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they won't work with them again.
Right.
Correct.
Because they were insulted.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's the only offer on the table, but it was so low that they don't even want to have that conversation because they were so insulted by this offer.
And that's not uncommon. A lot of buyers do that, especially from up north when they come down here. They always the first couple ones they always lowball, right? You've all experienced it. And always like, "This is New York money. I'm from New York. It's my cat." Sorry, that was a horrible impression. But
it reminded me of somebody very specific, though.
Who? I don't say it.
I'm not saying it, but it reminded me of someone that we worked in.
I'm not saying that all you New Yorkers, that's how it is. But oftentimes in South Florida, you get a call and they always go, "I'm from New York and I have cash." I'm like, what does New York have to do? Is New York a different shade of green? I don't understand. What does that have to do with anything? And your accent didn't give it away at all, by the way. We just lost all of our New Yorkers for Australia.
Listen, I love
Cash isn't king. Cash is just one term of many.
Here's the thing: the seller at the closing table is getting cash regardless of where it comes from.
Regardless, it's just one variable of the entire piece, right?
Well, to be fair, that variable is powerful because remember, in the sales game, anytime you can reduce stresses and risk,
right,
it moves the needle. And cash does move the needle because it reduces stresses and risk.
But there's a lot of people that say, all I care about is that final dollar amount. I'm willing to take the risk.
Yeah, some. Mm-hmm. Some. Yeah, some are. Not everyone. Some are willing to take a lot less money in exchange for less risk. That's why those We Buy Houses Cash people are in business, right?
And the timeline, too.
They buy like 60-70% below value.
We used to them. That's how I got into real estate.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've read your
bio?
5 days of your 5 day of email sequences.
Oh, you did read? So you read that, but not Give or Take, the book?
It was shorter. I also skimmed it. It also took me like 2 months. It also took me like 2 months to read it all.
So. When we text Alex, we got to start doing just bullet points.
Oh gosh,
that's how if you notice, any of my long form captions are always like one sentence at a time, or even my emails. I respond how I like to read.
Mm-hmm. It's fair.
That makes sense.
Get to the point.
Well, that's another sales thing. You communicate in ways that other people. That's a good tip. You communicate on how your client wants to be communicated with. You don't try to force feed them to communicate the way you want to communicate with. So we do feedbacks for our clients, and we do one a week for video and one either via text or email or phone call. And we have one client who refuses to watch videos, just refuses. Okay. And how
does he like to? Does he like to read the emails, text messages? Like
well, she says she likes to read the emails, but she doesn't reply to them. So I don't know if she actually does. So I don't know, but she did say she would rather have it in email.
Here's I'm giving you guys a little bit of a sneak peek into how I work. Have you ever heard of MailTrack?
I think it's similar to Yam, whether they open it or not.
Correct.
Click on any links within the.
Correct. So it's $10 a month, and I know if you're ignoring me or not.
You pay to see if you're being ghosted?
Yeah.
Well, it's also good to see which emails work, which emails get opened versus which don't, which links get clicked on where others don't. So you get to see.
But who has the time to even look at that? That just seems so time.
You just get a notification if an email has been open or not. And that way it's also useful to prove that they did receive it and they did open it.
I've used it in the past just to see what works and what doesn't work, because as we're working through different types of marketing emails, I want to know what people are responding more to.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I send the Seinfeld emails through MailChimp now. I should convert to KW command email. I just haven't yet. But anyways, they do give you those numbers. They do say, hey.
Well, I'm talking about just like any
Gmail. You're talking about like a basic.
All Gmails. Yeah. It's very useful for me.
Is it
I look at this.
Extension?
Oh, go ahead.
It is an extension, and you can have it in your Gmail app on your phone. However, you have to manually press 2 or 3 buttons to make sure that it's tracked.
2 or 3 buttons, too many. Sorry.
It is, and I always forget, which is very annoying.
It's like the text messages read receipts. Like, do you ever like wait for to see someone read them, and then sometimes they just don't because they don't have the read receipts on?
Or if they do, and
they don't reply.
Yeah, and I double text them like, "Excuse me, question mark, bitch."
Hello, aggressive. Not even passive.
Could you imagine dating Alex? I would be like, my God, dude, you're too much.
Well, you have to get your wife on the podcast just to see.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll love to do it one day, but she's working right now, so probably not.
Let's take this back further, because we were talking about how cash does alleviate risk, which is a great tool for selling. But that actually is a good pivot, because it's a great tool for the second part of things that we were talking about, bonuses and guarantees. So I already just kind of spilled the beans, but I'm going to ask Alex, what are the two of the main reasons why people don't make decisions when they're hiring or buying? Are you on Candy Crush again?
No, I was playing with my ring this time. It's my fidget spinner.
Because you
thought of your ring.
Sorry.
He thought of his wife who was playing with his ring.
Yeah.
He was slowly removing it. So, two main things that why people don't make quick decisions or a decision to buy.
One of them is definitely cost factor. You know, how much is it going to cost me? What can I afford it? And the other one is they don't trust you yet.
Okay, well, let's go to the cost thing. So cost is only a thing if people don't believe they're going to get in return what they put into it, which is risk.
Value, yeah.
Yeah, so it falls in the risk category, because there's 2 categories: self-doubt and risk. When people make a decision about something, there's a lot of self-doubt that's there. Like, am I making the right decision? I have made poor decisions before. Maybe this is a poor decision I'm making now. So there is a lot of self-doubt when it comes to that. And then the other one's risk, as we're talking about. And there's one really good way, and you should know what it is based on this conversation so far, to alleviate self-doubt and risk, and taking it off of their plate and put it on ours instead. How do you do that?
Well, it's offering something of value, and it's figuring out what is causing them to feel like they aren't ready or trusting you, or what sort of value they feel like is missing from you, and offering that, like the handyman.
That is true. So it's a thing of value. So today today's part of the lesson is bonuses and what?
Guarantees.
I can't believe Alex didn't know that quickly. Good job, Jen.
I was talking for too long. I was giving Jen the mic.
You were giving her time?
Yeah.
I clearly know it. I want to see if you do.
Yeah, why don't you guys tell me the definition of that?
We were progressing too slow. Like, guaranteed, I got this for 500.
Next one, we're gonna ring in for
buzzer.
Who's able to talk?
You have a buzzer. Well, let's talk. I'm gonna power through this point. And I know you guys want to deviate, but I have to, because we're running out of time of our episode. So, he's like, we never cover what we're supposed to cover because we're like a bunch of squirrels, right? Yeah. So listen, if people don't want to have that risk, they don't want to take the risk, and they have self-doubt about their own decision making, you can take that off of them by offering guarantees to alleviate that, right? So we offer a couple guarantees at the Homes by Koozie team, and I'm sure Alex is going to copy it. And those guarantees are designed to do just that. What?
Hey, you copy those who are more successful and those you want to emulate.
Ooh, that makes me feel good inside. Jen, what are our 3 guarantees?
You want me to give them the names?
Sure.
No rings attached. Actually, I don't know the names, but okay. The no rings attached, which means You can cancel at any time with no risk. You know, life happens. Sometimes life happens and you have to cancel. We do not penalize you for having to cancel a contract. Therefore, no rings attached. Communication. I don't know what the fun name for that is. The communication twice a week.
Feedback frenzy.
Feedback frenzy. Oh, and it uses alliteration too. I really should have triggered that one. So feedback frenzy, we constantly are communicating with our clients in different forms, whatever works best for our people, whether it's video, text, email, call, you got it, you name it, we got you.
How many times a week?
I said twice.
Oh, I thought you said many times.
No.
Maybe you did. Maybe you said twice. Sorry.
100%. Playback, please. Twice.
Okay. Guarantee number. You're nuts. Guarantee number 3.
I got no. I don't know right now.
No one markets more.
Oh, hello, Jennifer. Nobody markets more. Yes, thank you.
Nom.
Nom. But
What's that guarantee?
I want to also include back to the other one. That communication is so key, especially now that properties are sitting longer. Communicating with our sellers, what we're doing, what's happening on the back end, just so they don't feel like it's a straight up crickets. Let them know what's happening. And I have one condo specifically that's really sitting. And we're just giving them updates left and right. Hey, this is what I'm doing. I am following up. This is what we're seeing on the back end. Here are the analytics and XYZ website, which they appreciate. They know what's going on. They're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs saying, "Ooh, I hate this agent."
I feel like that's another one reason that when houses don't sell and somebody's prospecting for expired listings, they say, "Oh, my agent didn't do anything."
Didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or the call, and I was guilty of this when I didn't know all this stuff. It took experiences to get here, but the call I used to dread the most on slow markets. By the way, this market we're in now with days on market, a couple weeks is normal.
It's normal.
Yep. But anyways, new agents don't think it is.
It's quicker than June of 2019, or July 2019, where average days on market was 67 days. We're still at 52 days. So,
and people freak out if they're not sold in like 8 days. But anyways, so but that's a conversation you need to have with your client. But the call I used to always dread, Jen, on that, and then we do need to cover the last guarantee before we wrap up. But the call I used to dread on that is, "Hey, I'm just checking in. What are you doing to sell my house?"
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got to beat them to it. You got to beat them.
You have to beat them to it now.
Yeah.
And that's what the feedback frenzy is. The feedback frenzy is just that. We will communicate twice a week. And the cool thing about that, and the real key about the feedback frenzy, not only is the communication on point, it forces us to go into the listing twice a week and take a look at what homes did sell. And then why didn't ours sell? What went on the market? What are we competing with now? Are all the other listings dropping the price? Are we still one of the best games in town? If not, we need to have a conversation. Like, what's happening? What does the analytics look like? What is the how are we looking on Realtor.com? Are we at average, below average, or above average on views and clicks? Like, what are we missing? Are we mapped right? So those things do matter. But before we continue on, I do want to ask you, Jen, how does a no one markets more guarantee work?
Okay, well, I don't use the same guarantees as you specifically, but nobody markets more than us. And Chris, go on, because I don't use it the same way you do.
Well, how do you use it?
Well, I simply provide them with what our marketing tools are, because I know for a fact there are so many other agents that do not market the way we do, from our P-bills, from our 2D floor plans.
No one does.
Well, now somebody
except me.
Except I saw his P-bill. That sounded weird.
Well, I wonder where he learned all his skills.
Well, hold on. I guarantee I have something called the Video Marketing Blitz, which I'll go over after you guys are done.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. But yes, I know people don't do that. Typically, most agents drop the listing on the MLS, which we go way beyond that. So I do provide all the things that we do for our listings. You go a step further, Chris.
I would love to. So there's one of the main reasons why people hire a real estate agent is because they want them to market their house, sell their house, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, how do we make sure that no one does more than we do on the marketing front? Okay. Well, let's just make sure we do more than what everyone else does on the marketing front. So I did a couple years ago, I did a lot of research on all this stuff, and then the things that made financial sense and were applicable, I applied it to a listing. And then later on, I didn't have this guarantee, at first, but later on, I was noticing when I'm doing these updates for clients, I'm like, no one does anything like we do. Let's just guarantee we do more than anyone else because we can back it up. I can show that no one does more than us. So how the guarantee works is if you want to copy this with your clients. If not, go to coachingbykuzi.com and learn how to do these things. Free trial. And then you can, all right, anyways. So what I tell them is, hey, we are competing for attention in the digital space. So we want to make sure that we are keeping people on our listing longer than our competitors. And the way that we do that is that we guarantee that no one is going to market more aggressively on the digital front that we do. And if you find someone else that does, and we cannot exceed what they're doing, we will sell your house for free. And that's a very, so that, but let's go back. These guarantees are now taking the uncertainty of a bad decision and the risk involved with hiring you now off of the table, right? You now put the burden onto us to perform with our, these are performance guarantees, no risk guarantees, satisfaction guarantees, and service guarantees. We have 4 guarantees rolled into 3 guarantees to alleviate their stresses. So that's how that works, Jen. So Jen, you should offer that guarantee because it's very powerful.
It is something I'm working through. Just the wording.
My video marketing blitz.
Go ahead.
I'll tell everybody.
Tell us.
It's.
Hold on, let me get my phone. Hold on. I got something to do. Go ahead.
Anyway, I have not been on my phone once this entire podcast. So
what? I didn't hear you. What?
Anyway, so my video marketing blitz is where I guarantee in the first 7 days my video ads will reach 50,000 plus people.
Okay, 50,000 plus, and
yes,
that's
it could be more.
Well, hence
that's
the
what plus means.
That's what plus means.
Not plus or minus.
So what are you doing? Doing engagement ads? Sorry, Jen.
Well, that was my next question. That's what was my next question. Are we doing this through Facebook, Google? You see me? I'm like, what are you doing?
It's Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I run 2 ads, a reach ad and a video views ads. I put a lot of money behind it.
That is about that money thing. That is a conversation I'm having with my sellers in the feedback now because it is days on the market they are going up, especially because the Feds are about to drop the rates, so all the buyers are on the fence right now. Mm-hmm. And what I tell them when they're they're not upset. I wouldn't say upset, but they have their concerns that it's not selling as fast as the homes were selling before. And I say, listen, every day I wake up and we get that notification of how much money that I'm spending on your running ad. Every day we don't sell, my bottom line goes down. Mm-hmm. So I just want to let you know, you're not swimming in these waters alone. Mm-hmm. I'm losing money with you, brother. So let's just keep on working together to sell this damn house. And, because it will happen, Yep. Anyways. So, you're feeling that now too, huh, Alex?
Mm-hmm. For anybody not watching YouTube, his eyes said it all.
Oh, yeah. Wide-eyed. You saw the whites on top and the bottom.
Yep. That is the downside of a slow market when you're running daily ads. It is. And
but sorry, Chris. I mean, on the front end though, when you're having, I know you already had these conversations with the sellers about the days on market. It's something you have to drive home from the front end. Obviously, we're not in that same market anymore. Even though you say it on the front end, you have to constantly remind, hey, this is not, there's no such thing as standard in real estate necessarily, but this is the trend. This is what to expect. We are only on day 20 of being live on the market. Yep. Typically for your particular property type and zip code and so on, it's this many days on average. So just hold tight. We're working, and that's where that communication piece comes in. This is what we're doing on the back end, constantly.
I know you've seen the Chartmaster stuff that I plug, Chris. I don't know if you've seen it. But I love that shit. Our office pays somebody who is like a master chart maker guy. He runs the numbers of like list price, all the actives, all the close, all the pendings, all the price reductions, all the expireds, and he sends us quarterly reports and now monthly reports. And when he does the monthly reports, he compares 2024 to 2019, which was what was the last quote unquote normal market, and how it compares. That's how I know those numbers of where we are compared to 2019. We're still,
you didn't research it yourself?
No, I don't got time for that shit.
I mean, he's got the chart master behind him.
Yeah, our office pays for it. So it's a fantastic tool. I use it for my listing presentations. I use it for social media scripts. I use it for videos. I do it for everything, and it really is a powerful tool that you should really take advantage of.
I've heard.
Oh, I was like, what is that?
That's my dog.
Guys, I'm hungry.
Oh. My favorite in the Chartmaster one is being able to show a seller based off of their property type and price point, where does it fall on a buyer's or seller market based on the inventory, what's the average, and it's all on that one sheet, which is so helpful. It's just a little point and slide right across.
That's great for content too, if you can use that data.
I use it all the time. One of my really good performing reels that I posted last month, I took the 2019 data and the 2024 data and showed the difference. And we're actually 33% less inventory in June 2019 or June 2024 compared to 2019 for single families in Palm Beach. We have 3,900 single family homes for sale versus like 5,000 or 6,000 in 2019. Still showing we have way less inventory, and houses are still selling faster than they did 5 years ago in the last normal market. People just forgot. It's been half.
And the key factor for all that, those were considered very good markets.
Yep, it was normal.
It was a normal market.
So
we're in a normal market. Yeah, but there's a lot of agents who came in the last 5 years or so who don't know these things, and they're like screaming like Chicken Little.
I saw Lab Coat agent. Somebody's like, I only had 3 people at my open house. I'm like, that sounds successful. You should have been here in 2019, 2016, 2017, where one person was successful. And that's how I tell my my sellers. Now you have to explain to them, open houses, you may get 1, 2, 3 people. And that's a successful open house. If you get 10, amazing. But it's and that's another reason why I don't focus too much on open houses.
Well, open houses, if it's done after a price reduction, a significant price reduction, and where all showings are held off until that open house, it could be a good strategy,
if it's
right?
Strategic, yes.
If you're strategic,
not to just, hey, nothing's happened for a few weeks, haven't had any showings. Let's just do an open house, but you don't change anything on the listing.
Well, think about it. Yeah, it's like think about it in the real world perspective. So you're saying there's like this cauldron of buyers that are just itching to see your house, but they're refusing to until you put an open house on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I will not go show and see this house until there's an open one. Of course not. It's just a silly premise. You're just going to end up getting nosy people, and you might get lucky. So if you're not strategic, that's the problem. You're right.
Well, everybody wants the cars circled around the neighborhood waiting to see that, but that's just not what we have today.
Nope. That ended June 2023.
When the market shifts when people start putting balloons on their open house signs.
Oh yeah. They start having a nice little spread with cookies and water.
Yeah. I know it's gonna sell this $800,000 house. Famous Amos. So stupid. But we do offer, and it doesn't get taken up on us a lot. I think it only 4 times in my career, or mega open houses. And we'll end with this because time's up. But mega open houses are pretty cool if you're doing them right, because they have like everything. And even mega open houses, it's not like people banging down the doors, but you'll have like bounce houses and like a Kona ice truck. And we turn the listing photos into little coloring books for the kids with crayons and all this stuff. We go all out. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to be real about it, yeah, mega open houses are great and they do generate more traffic and interest. Oftentimes you just attract neighbors who want a free sub platter or something, like you don't really.
It's more so for the agent than it is for the seller.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not kidding.
Yep.
You're not kidding.
It's all about prospects out there in the neighborhood, so they can see what you're doing. What are they willing to do to sell that house? All right.
They do more than anyone else.
And more than anyone else. Oh, maybe I will use them. I'll ask them for their card.
Jen puts her real estate signs out in her neighborhood, and not bashful at all. Or the real estate political signs.
not bashful at all. I've already gotten 2 letters from my association, which I barely knew they existed, saying I was in violation.
Let's explain what those are. That's actually good. We can end like this. This is a good tip for you guys. For all you guys who lasted to the very end. All right, if you're just listening, you got to go to YouTube on this. But everyone at the Homes by Kuzi team, so not Alex, we ordered these signs. They're political signs, and it says Chris Cusimano, 4-year realtor. Text me, I'm friendly, with a number. And they're just political signs, so you can't technically put them up like wherever because there's like some kind of violation. But what I did in my neighborhood was I just casually brought it up to a couple of cool neighbors. I'm like, you mind just sticking this up instead of Trump or Kamala signs?
I got in trouble for having but I'm telling you, I got in trouble from my association even for putting it in front of my house, not just at the stop sign. It was ridiculous. They said I couldn't.
Do they allow political signs?
Do they allow for sale signs?
They don't allow for sale signs.
Oh, that's different. My neighborhood does.
I mean, people still do it. I mean, I live right here. You know where I live. People still put them up, but they're not supposed to. I don't know. I was very upset.
Well, it is a good attention grabber, and is also really good for social media posts if you get those made. Just make sure you don't. I don't want to get in trouble. Follow your rules.
Follow your association rules, or you will get a letter in the mail.
In your current realtor association rules as well. Mm-hmm. So, all right, we're at the hour mark. You guys want to say who you are and where they can find you?
Jen Konikoff, everywhere.
Okay. Alex Mandel, you can find me on Instagram at Alex Mandel Homes.
All right, I'm Chris Cusimano. Hit your boy up at coachingbykuzi.com. That's where you'll find me, baby. All right, guys, it was fun. Alex, it looks like you're falling asleep, so we're going to let you go.
I've been chugging the Celsius, man. I'm good.
You need a straw or something. All right, we're going to get out of here. And, thanks for hanging out. If you made it this far, you're a winner. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to end.
Oh, phone drink.